Welcome back to the Steel Deal. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Delayed
Yeah.
episode. It's the holiday season. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere. What matters is we're here right now. I'm Nick, that's Brad. Thank you guys for being here. We're getting ready to talk about Steelers Lions and how we feel about it. We're trending in the right direction as we speak right now. It's Saturday night. All eyes are on Green Bay and Baltimore, as that will determine what we need to do
Starts in what,
tomorrow.
2 hours roughly?
I think so. I think so. And neither starting quarterback is playing. So we're all going for Malik Willis, which, kind of like it's funny how this works because
Yeah,
when
because
the
Tomlin
Kenny
had
Pickett draft,
everybody thinking he was going to grab him.
yep, yep, it all falls back to it. But look, we beat the Lions. They were teetering on that playoff. They are out now. But last week, this was a good win. Brad, what did you see first and foremost?
Else, well, first and foremost, is it Saturday?
Yeah,
I've just
right.
been in that whole holiday vortex, man. We watched a movie last night and it finished. Probably an hour later, I'm thinking, oh, it's about 11:30, quarter to 12. I look at my phone and it's almost 20 after 1. I haven't known what time it is or what day it is for the last week, it seems like.
Time doesn't exist. It's fine. Between the
Yeah.
24th and the 31st, it's all
Yeah.
time is what you want it to be.
No, I'm watching that game, and during the first half, it was a lot of just jabbing each other.
Yep.
Nobody really getting anywhere. And I'm almost kind of nervous because I'm like, they looked good last week against Baltimore. It was Baltimore they beat and then going into Detroit. So
Yep.
uh, I'm watching it. I'm like, oh man, cause when I think of the Lions now, this is Dan Campbell. Credit to him. Do you think of Detroit now? You're not thinking of pushover. Oh, that's a win. Even though they're 8-6 going into the game, or 8-5, whatever it was. I think we were both 8-6 going into the
Yep.
game.
Yep.
But regardless, going into that, you're thinking we might get our heads handed to us because he's changed the perception of that franchise in what, 4 seasons
I think
roughly.
it's five. I think it's been five.
Okay,
I think he's been there five. But yeah,
I mean he has
in a
done a
quick
great
time.
job.
He has. He has. He's been phenomenal. He's, what he's done for that team, for that city, it is really cool. Obviously we're not Lions fans, but I kind of, I've always kind of had a soft spot for them because
Yeah.
a lot of these cities up in that, the Pittsburgh region, the fans are also similar. And you
Hmm.
felt for the Lions with being as bad as they are, being, an iconic NFL franchise, unfortunately for so long for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
It's been awesome to see him get them out, but this has not been their year. And I was with you. I thought we were walking into a buzzsaw. It kind of felt like it was a loss when they announced the schedule. And we went in there and that third quarter was one of the best third quarters I have ever seen the Steelers play.
Yeah, that was they just felt unstoppable for a while. I
Yep.
mean, Detroit, they pushed them,
Yep.
during the fourth quarter of that game, slinging the ball around. But
Yeah.
I mean, it just wow, it was.
It was a good win. It was a good win. It was a necessary win. Cleveland will be a tough game tomorrow. I'm not chalking that up to a win
Yeah,
anyway because
it's
we just cannot. You and I were texting during the game, and every time this happens, we always feel like, oh man, they could blow them out. And I'm like, nah, just watch, just watch, just like
yeah. I'm
they will
messaging
come
with
back.
a buddy of mine from high school that
Yep.
actually he lives in PA now, and he's like, man, this is the best game we played all year, and we were up 29-17 at that point or
Yeah.
something, and or maybe 29-10, whatever it was,
Yeah.
but we had a good lead and it was feeling really good, and then all of a sudden they start pushing back and it's like, oh my god, here we go again.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like we spoke too soon.
Yep, I was texting with a buddy, and he was passively watching the game. He probably had money on it. I don't know. And he said, "Oh, looking like the Steelers are gonna run Detroit out of the building." I said, "No, don't worry." I said, "Yeah, Detroit's gonna score here real quick. They're gonna get the ball back, and then we'll get the ball back. We'll go with like three and out, and then they'll get the ball back, and it'll come down to like the last possession or a fourth down stop." And sure enough, it happened.
Yeah.
And he messaged back and said something like, how do you know this? Do you just know what's going to happen? Are you watching the game in the future?" And I said, "No, I've watched the Mike Tomlin led Pittsburgh Steelers for 19 years now. I
Yeah.
know what's going to happen." But I want to recognize some individual performances. I guess individual joint performances. That rushing attack was phenomenal.
Yeah, I've
Jalen
got some
Warren,
thoughts on, yeah. Go
Jalen
ahead.
Warren, stud. I mean, he and Kenneth Gainwell combined for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, that's beautiful. That I will, and I want to lead with the Lions. They are so banged up. They are starting practice squad guys on both sides of the ball. So, we have to take that with a grain of salt. But I don't care. Anytime you can do that, you got to feel good about it. They played phenomenal. Kenneth Gainwell also led the team with 5 receptions, 78 yards, including that amazing halftime one and a touchdown. He is a elite weapon, and I'm really hoping we can re-sign him. The problem is, it's a good problem to have. If we re-sign him, Caleb Johnson has no role on this team.
Maybe not. Only time will tell. But
Right.
as much as those guys get hit, I mean, playing running back and you're getting
Correct.
banged on every single play. So at some point, one of those guys is going to get hurt and they're going to miss a few games, and then there
Yeah.
will be his opportunity to get in there to show what he can do, and then maybe get a spot in the rotation when
Yeah.
everybody's healthy.
Yeah. I would love to see us re-sign Gainwell like 2 years, $20 million. I think was a pretty fair, but this is going to be his first real contract. This is his fifth year in the league. He's on a 1 year deal with us. I'd like us to lock him up and just have good talent across the board.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah, it was.
our rushing attack was great. Their rushing attack, Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is one of, if not the best player in the NFL. 15 rushing yards.
Yeah,
Whew. Without TJ Watt. Now, obviously, TJ's not much of a stopper, but he makes plays, and we're banged up too. We're
yeah, yeah. I mean,
we're
Herbert
not full
played
strength.
this
No one
game
is.
either. I mean, we had
Yep.
Sawyer out there who played an awesome game.
I thought he played real well. The number one thing that jumped out to me of Jack Sawyer was when you watched him at Ohio State, he wasn't like the biggest, fastest, the strongest. The dude just made plays. Like that's just what it
Hmm.
came down to.
You got to have guys like that too.
His scoop and score in the national championship, I think it was the national championship. Yeah. Just like you gotta have guys like that. And that's exactly what he is. He's not in the NFL, his pass coverage is terrible. It's terrible. But he makes plays. And he
Hmm.
makes plays happen by being in the right place at the right time. And I'm loving watching him play. He and Alex Highsmith played very well together, which I think is interesting because they're comparable players
Yeah,
in terms of their size and their body style.
yeah. Highsmith was mixing it up quite a bit in that game, also
Yeah.
stopping the run behind the line and putting. I don't think he ended up with any sacks, but he put a lot of pressure on Goff.
I think he had one. Sawyer had 5 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a QB hit. And Highsmith had a tackle for loss, a sack, and QB hit.
Oh, okay.
So they were there.
Wow.
They were there. We didn't get a whole lot of actual sacks on. That is a giant mug, Brad. We didn't get a whole lot of actual sacks
Check
on.
this out. This is an Uncle Wayne special he gave to me
Man,
this afternoon.
fantastic. Family.
I was like, I've got to put some coffee in that to see if
Oh
Nick
my
notices
God.
when I get it up and drink out of it.
It's like two hands right there.
It's-
Wow. Just
I normally drink my coffee out of a Steelers Stein that's about this tall and about that big around.
fantastic. Yeah. That just shows our podcasts aren't scripted. We don't rehearse.
That's
That's the
right.
first time I've seen that.
I premeditated that, but you had no idea.
Just giant. Dang. Okay. Where was it? Yeah. So Sawyer had a hit. Highsmith had a sack. Benton had a sack, which bumped his season total up to 5.5, which is a career high.
Yeah.
Benton, he's played real well. He's especially playing for that nose tackle position. I think to see his growth has been good.
Hmm. Yeah. And watching the game, thinking about it the following day, how well both lines played.
Yep.
And that's where our draft focus has been for the last few seasons is building up those lines, and it kind of felt like all in one game. Maybe not necessarily just one game, but the game turned out so well on both sides of the ball that those guys have just like all of a sudden come into their own.
Yeah.
They've gelled to work together, and they're figuring out
Yeah.
the pro game, and they're getting it done. Which brings me, I started looking up. We brought in Andy Weidel from Philadelphia to work with Omar,
Yep.
and I went back and looked up Philadelphia's draft philosophy and who was making their picks for Sirianni when he came in.
Mhm.
Figure out how they built that team, and it's Howie Roseman. I remembered that once I found his name, but I just was drawing a blank on it. But I looked up his philosophy on building the team, and there's some bullet points upgrade every spot. He has an unhealthy obsession with finding even small edges to improve the roster, practice squad, and focusing on relentless improvement. We're constantly, over the last few seasons, signing all these, other dudes, just bring them in to see how much better we can get, just, flipping a switch more or
Yeah,
less. The
yeah.
Thielen thing, MVS, some of these other guys, I mean, they might not be all world anymore, but that's I think these things are happening because of that philosophy that Whitehall brought over from Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Waddle came over and if I'm not misunderstood, not I'm mistaken, whatever word. I think he's a Pittsburgh native. I think he's from
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
really? Okay.
I think so. I can't Google that fast enough. Maybe you can Google that while I talk. Um, Big investment in the line. That's how the Eagles built their Super Bowl teams, and they signed guys who Jordan Mailata, who hadn't played football really. Like they signed these guys. They drafted a guy, Landon Nickerson from Alabama, from Hickory, North Carolina, to kind of spot start and morphed him into a Pro Bowl level player. So they have done so well on the offensive defensive line. They've invested heavily, and it's worked. You know, I think that's what we're doing. But one thing of note that I think is interesting is that the Steelers have ran a lot of jumbo packages this year. Arthur
Oh,
Smith
yeah.
loves that.
Hmm.
If you've noticed, go back and watch and skip the watch and look at the stats here. I'll save you some time. The percentage of jumbo personnel, if it's 12, 13, whatever, from the beginning of the season to now, we are going to more 11 personnel because teams are adjusting to us.
Uh-huh.
So teams are realizing, okay, the Steelers are running these massive jumbo packages. We got to get our big guys in there. And that's when Rodgers is able to manipulate the defense,
Mm,
like the clip that's floating around social media right now when he tells Kenneth Gainwell to run a fly route, run a go route.
yeah.
He's like, go. He just tells like because Rodgers can do that. So it's so interesting because it kind of feels like I don't want to say we're peaking because I don't have faith in us to win a playoff game until we do, but it feels like what we've been trying to do is happening.
Yeah.
And again, I love what you said about we're just picking up guys to see if they can be better than what we have. Is that going to hurt the development of guys? Sure, but we're trying to win now, not win tomorrow. That's just the Steelers' philosophy. So if
Hmm.
you can bring in Thielen, who has like 4 catches total, but has made some good plays,
Yeah.
right? If you can bring in Asante Samuel, who it just so happened that his surgeon for his hurt back was the Steelers surgeon, and that happens occasionally. That's not anything crazy. Scotty Miller had a couple clutch catches, like these guys who, Dylan Cook, another guy. You're just getting these guys in here just to see if they're better, and if they are, it's beneficial. So I like to see that philosophy working. We just got to figure out if we can sustain it.
I kind of feel like 10, 12 years ago, the Asante Samuel thing, when he was coming back from the injury, that we would have never been in the conversation
Yeah.
for picking him up. Somebody
Yeah.
else would have grabbed him, and it's just like, well, there's another guy that we could have had, but they wouldn't even entertain it. The other thing is, the building from the trenches. This is a consistent focus on strengthening both lines through drafting and development, viewing them as foundational pillars. And I mean, that's where you win ball games. I mean, it's
Yeah. You win by getting to the quarterback and protecting yours.
And let's see, they're drafting for needs 1 to 2 years down the line rather than reacting to immediate holes, ensuring long term strength. I mean,
Yep.
the things we're starting to see Omar and Andy do now is coming straight from Philly.
Yeah. And I love the drafting for future needs rather than, what reaching for a player, right?
Hmm.
And I think we can all agree that at this point we reached for Kenny Pickett because everyone knew we needed a quarterback. And the
Yeah.
Steelers have long been very open with what we're doing about our first round pick. We've never really hid that. So by investing in, we didn't have like, oh my gosh, we have to fix right tackle. We have the worst tackle situation in the league. No, we had pretty like mediocre tackle play. So we've invested in that. Right? So by investing in, we didn't need a defensive tackle. We had Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward was just getting old, but now we've invested that in Harmon, and Harmon's numbers in the run game are fantastic. So it's like, okay, boom, we have our Cam Hayward replacement. What happens is we just need to kind of hit on these outside, out of the top 3 round guys to really
Hmm.
make an impact. And it's all going to come down to quarterback because all eyes are on Pittsburgh because the draft is in Pittsburgh. none of the quarterbacks coming out that are elite are going to be within our range. And we got Rodgers is not going to be here forever.
Yeah.
This might be his last two, 3 games as a Steeler. We do not know that.
Yeah.
So we got to figure that out. And I'm real curious what we do. And I am hoping and praying that neither Tua or Kyler Murray are on our team next year. I cannot do that.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't need that happening, man. Just
No.
no. Yeah. I mean, it just aggressive but smart, willing to make bold moves, trades, or extensions when opportunity arises to maintain competitiveness, but always with a calculated approach, and learning from mistakes. You just all kinds of philosophical things that we see starting to happen in bits and pieces. Like I called us the Dollar General, of the Dollar General Rams from picking up all these extra players trying to get everything done all at one time the other week.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, things are looking good, but again, I really think it's important to remember that until we get a playoff win, it's
yeah,
just it's the same thing. You need a playoff win. All credit to Mike Tomlin, 200th win in the NFL. That's
it's a lot of
incredible.
games.
And you can just see the respect that the league has for him. I think again, you mentioned the Asante Samuel Jr. He wanted to come here because of Mike Tomlin. We get these guys because of Mike Tomlin, his ability to connect with these guys at the draft, maintain that relationship, and you never know on that second or third contract, they want to say, I want to go play for Mike Tomlin. Does that mean as we sit here right now, I don't want to move off Mike Tomlin? No, I voiced my concerns.
Yeah,
Until we win a playoff game and compete to where I think we should be, I'm going to have those concerns. And I'm going to wish we would have hired a Ben Johnson. I'm going to wish, something. But you have what you have, and right now we have a Hall of Fame coach who is going to win you 9 to 10 games every year. Here we are.
we need another Lombardi. That's all there
We
is
do.
to it.
We do. We do. We really, really do. It's been way too long. We're a spoiled fan base, and I understand the how hard it is to win the NFL. Again, the Lions are a great example. They were terrible, and they had about a 5-year window, and their window is probably closed now.
Hmm.
They'll probably be competing for an NFC North title in the next couple years, but I don't really see them as Super Bowl
Goff's
competitors.
kind of one of those guys that he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. So when he loses a little bit of arm strength, he's just gonna, you know,
Yeah, the biggest problem with Goff is like the second he gets pressure in his face, he crumbles.
yeah,
When he's a clean pocket, he's a top 5 quarterback. Like he
yeah,
is. He can read a defense, he knows what to do, but when the pressure gets in his face, he crumbles. All quarterbacks have flaws. That's just his. That's why the Rams got rid of him because he's a good quarterback, but you need everything to go right to win a Super Bowl. And I think last year, the year before that with Detroit, that was everything going right. Last year they were just injured. They just the
hmm,
wheels fell off. All right, so I want to pivot back to this game. Rodgers played really, really well. Cool stat. He had 9 first downs on third and fourth down. Picked up 9 first downs on third and fourth down, his most since 2019. He's not been an issue on the field at all this year. I haven't worried about his mental ability nor his physical ability, and I'm really, really curious if he's back next year. I really think that's something that we need to keep an eye on.
it'll be
Um,
interesting to see how that plays out, especially if they say we end up in the playoffs, we win that first game at home.
yeah,
No matter what happens in the second game, there's a playoff win right there,
yeah.
and he escapes alive and feeling good, more
Yeah.
or less.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you asked him right now, did you think you'd feel as good as you do when you agreed to play your 43rd year, 43rd age 43 year in the NFL?
Mhm.
I think he would say he feels better than he expected. He's been kept fairly upright and he's played well. Again, it's just like remarkable because all quarterback play in the NFL is way down. So we're like, oh, we're 3,000 yards, woohoo, let's go.
Yeah,
But that's a big deal. And he's not turning the ball over. He's had a couple bad throws. But if you got the same exact play and he was 32 years old, you'd have no worries bringing him back. It's just the age.
yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
what about we get the media train rolling on Joey Porter Jr. for an All-Pro award because that's what his numbers are reflecting.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I keep, he's man, he's our shutdown guy now.
Yeah.
He is the guy that's just, you can put him on a one,
Yep.
or you could put him on a two and then double team the one.
Yeah.
And you, you got a lot of options when you have a corner like that. And then we've got Asante Samuel out there who's,
Yep.
I mean, we could be really dangerous on the corners.
Yeah, and the thing is, Joey has that narrative that he makes big plays and he gives up big plays and he gets penalties. Like that's his thing. But his stats, like you just gotta look at the stats. All of his stats are putting him as a top five cornerback this year,
Yeah.
and his penalty rates are in the bottom five, top five, like of the good rankings, however you want to put that.
Yeah. I mean, I
He
saw
is
all over
doing
social
everything
media
elite.
just this past week about, yeah, he's good, but he's got to cut down the penalties. And I'm like, last season he had 17 penalties. I don't know if they were all pass interference, but he had
Mhm.
17 penalties. Yeah, the last I heard he had six.
Yeah,
So he's cut those down, what, two-thirds
yeah,
roughly? You know, I mean, and he's playing all pro ball. I mean, six penalties in a season. If he doesn't end up with any more, even if he finishes with seven or eight, I mean, that's a massive drop from the year before. So that shows growth as a player,
yep.
you know, and ready to, he's taking that next step. Not ready to, he's there.
He's taken. He's taken. He's there. I want to pull just there's a million stats to back this argument, but a couple ones that I thought were of note. He's giving up a 46.5 completion percentage with his fifth, which is fifth best in the NFL.
Okay.
The passer rating when targeting him is 52.3, which is fourth best, and he has the third most snaps with zero touchdowns. He has not given up a single touchdown all year, and he's been on the field for 400. He's 426 passing attempts, however you want to call that. So he's phenomenal. He's playing phenomenal, and I'm really curious how much of Jalen Ramsey is to benefit.
Hmm.
Jalen's mental ability is top notch. I'm so curious what that relationship is like, and that's the benefit of signing vets because they've been there. Jalen might not be a top five shutdown elite corner anymore, but he was, and he knows how to be.
Yeah.
And we get that from Joey Porter Jr. Uh, it's essentially his contract year, right? We will, if we want him, we're going to sign him to a contract this year. And I got a feeling if once he puts pen to paper, you're going to see a lot more 24 jerseys pop up in the stands of Acrisure Stadium,
He'll be back.
Heinz Field.
Yeah. Yeah. Heinz Field. That's right. Yeah. Speaking, I mean, Ramsey made Pro Bowl as a safety.
Yep. Yeah, TJ Watt though.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, that's a legacy vote. I
Yeah,
mean, that's just what I put on my notes. He
yeah,
hasn't had a Pro Bowl season in 2 years.
yeah.
I mean, and I'm not. I mean, he's just at that point. I mean, he's done. I mean,
He's
yeah,
just he's gone from a top one pass rusher to a top five pass rusher to probably a top 10 pass rusher.
yeah,
And
and
that's a
we've
decline.
won 2 games in a row without him on the field. I
Yep.
mean, hopefully, when if he does come back, I'm hearing that he may not. You know, with this lung thing,
Yeah.
you don't know what to believe right now, but
Right.
hopefully the defense doesn't take a step back when he comes on the field, because if they do and it's a result of him being out there and not somebody else that's really putting pressure on an offense,
Yeah.
is Tomlin gonna, you know, pull him enough to get somebody else out there that can put the pressure out there and stop the run?
Yeah, I almost wish you could use TJ like in a closer role. Like, the baseball
Yeah.
analogy is, yeah, you can have a guy out there for Paul Skeens, right? Let's keep it in Pittsburgh, right? Paul Skeens is dominant. Right now, he can go the entire game. He probably, he could. And you leave him out there, he's going to fall off in the eighth and the ninth inning. So you bring in the closer, right? So maybe you let the young guys go out there in the first half and then let TJ get in there in the third and fourth and just kind of warm up. He's still a game wrecker. He's still an impact player. He's
Mhm.
going to be like Jack Sawyer, he's going to be in the right place at the right time because his football IQ is not going away. He's just lost a little bit of that first step, which is so crazy
Yeah,
because he
it's
seems
big
so
for
young.
him though, because he depends on that speed, and it's
Yeah,
just not there anymore.
yeah, and
Yeah,
we
I
got to see what
love
we haven't
T.J.
heard.
Watt, but I don't want to think I'm coming down on him. But I mean, there's just a line that a player hits when they're in the league that coaches
Yeah,
need to know when to move on from these guys.
well, and especially guys who rely on quickness and agility. Like Cam Hayward does not rely on quickness and agility; it's power, and he's kind of been able to push that into his late 30s because you're not losing strength, you're losing speed. TJ's so much of speed, and you see that in any speed related position. It's why Tyreek Hill is no longer the best wide receiver in the NFL. He can still catch a ball and he can still outrun well over 70% of the league, but he can't outrun everyone anymore.
Yeah.
So, that little bit just kind of catches up with you. Let's get into the end of the game. I want to hit on the end of the game, and then I want to hit on the DK Metcalf stuff. End of the game, you and I were talking the whole time. There's nothing controversial about this. It was an obvious offensive pass interference by Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Hmm.
Um, in they had like three penalties leading up to that fourth quarter drive. We had like nine, and that's very clearly an offensive pass interference. And then on top of that, forward progress was stopped. He caught it at the one, got pushed back to like the six, and then laterals it to Jared Goff, who goes in. There should have been no controversy. I don't even understand what the big deal was.
Yeah, and then the explanation by the ref
Yeah, yeah,
was terrible. I mean,
yeah,
this is just another case of the NFL. They've got so much money coming in. We need full-time refs.
yeah,
There's no argument against it. I mean, full-time refs, that needs to be what they do 7 days a week, 5
yeah.
days a week, whatever. Uh, that was terrible. Just all he had to say was, "We have a flag for offensive pass interference on the field. The game can end on." He didn't even have to go into that. That game
Yeah,
over penalty.
yeah,
That's it. There's
yeah,
no that was a touchdown. No, it wasn't.
yeah. I think the issue is I'm curious if the NFL Ref Association, whatever they're called, will revisit this because I was reading this. Apparently, they have to announce the result on the field first.
Oh, okay.
That's like it's in their rules. They have to announce that, and then they have to announce what the penalty is. So that's why he said, or said,
Gotcha.
yeah, he said the ruling on the field is a touchdown because the ruling on the field was a touchdown.
Okay.
But what the issue is, he waited like 3 to 5 business days to say, however, and Ford Field hears touchdown and they're going crazy, like as they should. I understand that.
Yeah.
So I think that they have to say, I wonder if they will change that to announce the result of the final, like regardless, like put something in there. And some refs explain everything, and some refs explain nothing. And I don't know what the legality of that is, because yeah, you can't sit there and say according to Article 82, page whatever, if this, that you can't do that. You have to announce it and get going. And anytime there's that much space to fill, you're gonna wonder what.
Yeah.
And his I think the biggest thing is like they took forever to review it. It should have been no, that was offensive pass interference, so the play is dead. Okay, also you can't have an untimed down from an offensive penalty. Like simple as that.
Hmm.
So I'm with you though. Full-time refs absolutely need to happen. The NFL is so wealthy, they can't afford to pay these refs more. It's just it
And
really it
just,
just
I'm a firm believer Roger Goodell is one of the worst things that happened to the league. I do not like a lot of the things he's done.
I think he's done a lot of stuff well, but I also think that sometimes it's just like sometimes it's time. The NBA is kind of there with Adam Silver right now. A lot of
Mhm.
fans are really upset with how basketball is being ran. They got ads everywhere. They got this confusing in-season tournament. They have, it's just really confusing. And I just it feels like every league is in bed with the gambling companies,
Yeah.
and you just can't trust. You can't
Hmm.
trust what's going on. It's frustrating as a fan. It's very frustrating. On top of the fact that everyone's getting priced out of going to a game.
Oh yeah.
Now Arrowhead is going to join every other stadium that's going to be a dome. It's just like it's taking away what makes like sports special, and that is the uniqueness of fandom. And they just
Saying Arrowhead, they're
yeah,
going
the
to a
Chiefs are
dome.
the Chiefs are moving to Missouri
Okay,
or
I knew they
Kansas.
were moving, but I didn't know anything about this dome talk.
Yeah, they're changing. Technically, it's what QEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. I don't know. That could be wrong. They are moving to a dome in 2030. It's going to look just like a combination of US Bank, where the Vikings play, of SoFi, where the Chargers and Rams play. They all look the same. It's like the 90s when everyone's like concrete blocks, let's go.
Yeah.
It's like that now, but it's domes. And
Ugh.
I'm a firm believer that football is to be played outside.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
makes it better. It makes advantages impactful, and it makes it kind of as a fan more fun.
Hey, yeah. Oh, totally agree. I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
Um. Okay, and then yeah, DK Metcalf. I think everyone would agree that DK got screwed. This is ridiculous. Obviously, he shouldn't have shoved the guy, but based on the history of this guy, which I have notes on if you're not familiar with,
Hmm.
um, and what's transpired after the ruling,
That was the goal. That was the goal.
that was the goal. That
Yeah.
was the goal. Yeah. Like what is the NFL doing here? How are you allowing a fan who has been kicked out of a stadium, who has previously been pointed out specifically by this player, by DK Metcalf, as a problem, who has been now there are fans in that section of Ford Field who are like, yeah, this guy's a problem, even in preseason games. It's ridiculous. You have
Wow.
mounting evidence. The second the game is over, he lawyers up, which is weird. He has a press conference the day after Christmas where he wears a backwards hat with a suit, continues to call DK Metcalf DeKalin, which he has already said he doesn't like to be called. It's just like, and his explanation for the whole thing was, I didn't say racial slurs at that game. And then he has to backtrack and say, I didn't say racial slurs at all this year. And then he has to keep taking a step back because he keeps realizing he's wrong. And yet DK Metcalf still gets penalized for it.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have walked over there. I mean, these
No.
guys have got to understand that,
Yeah.
people like him, that guy's out for a payday. It's just
Yep.
all there is to it. And DK needs to understand that. But beyond that, where's all the security that says, hey, where are you going? You need to be over here on your team's sideline. You're not supposed to go back here towards the France.
Yeah.
Why didn't anybody stop him? Where were they? Where was
Yeah.
team security? Where was the Lions security? Where was
Yeah.
NFL security? And I've heard that there's supposed to be so much security around, to keep these kind of things from happening because people they have mouth, especially when they get a beer or two in them. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. I think
it's
it's a problem to have, it's kind of one of those things that we just overlook. Like, oh yeah, those fans are really close to the players. And as fans, as an entity, we kind of have this, oh, we're better than you. We can yell, we can say whatever we want to you because we're an individual. You're on the team.
hmm
And that's ridiculous. These guys, this is the exact situation. You can say whatever you want, and if they say one thing to you, they get suspended or they get in trouble with the law. And yeah, DK should not have gone over there. He shouldn't have. But we all have buttons that can be pushed. And if that guy is pushing that button and he knows how to push that button,
yeah.
Ford Field security should have been there.
hmm
DK
It
is
was
not without fault, but I think the brunt of it falls on this whatever the dude's name is. I don't even want to give him the justice of saying his
yeah.
name. We're
Just
looking it
next
up.
time, shoot him a bird, whoever it is. Just shoot him. Did you ever see? Well, you're probably a little too young to remember it, but Jake Plummer, when I think it was when he was in Denver. It might have been his last season. He was getting heckled by fans, and he
Mhm.
scratched the back of his head with his middle finger up.
Funny.
They called it. He got fined for doing it,
Yeah,
but still, I mean, you can stroke a check for 5 or 10 grand,
yeah,
and just keep on moving. Fine, do that, but going over
yeah,
there and grabbing, so you just can't do it, man. It just oh
yeah. And Johnny Manziel flicked off. Actually, I think Steeler fans, and YA Black actually this week flicked off a Lions
yeah,
player.
that's right. He did, didn't he?
So he should have said, DK, do this instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, but again, we won. We feel good. All eyes are on Baltimore and Green Bay. Go Malik Willis. Prove that the Steelers should have drafted you at 20, whatever, 22, 21,
hmm
instead of Kenny the Bust Pickett. Um, and we Packers win tonight, and I really think it's interesting what we do moving forward. Are we
hmm
going to? I would assume Rodgers got all the first team reps this year, this week. But if the Ravens lose tonight, do you just put in Rudolph? And do you just run the ball 48 times and not let Myles Garrett get the sack record?
Yeah, I don't know. What something else? Dylan Cook,
Yep.
another game. I mean,
Yep.
he allowed one sack to Hutchison early in the game.
Yep.
But other than that, I mean, this guy's just come out of nowhere.
hmm
Been on the practice squad for years, and he's got what 2 full games under his belt now, and he's just playing stellar football.
Yeah. It
It's
it
like,
makes an interesting discussion. What are you gonna do? Do
yeah,
you throw your eggs in the basket of the unknown, or do you roll with Broderick, who was looking to be like he could be a top 10 tackle pre-injury? And these
from
are why those guys get paid and we don't.
Yeah, and the football geek side of this makes me wonder if him being a former quarterback in college, it was college, right?
Yep.
If he has the knowledge of what he's going to need to do to protect Aaron on 3, 5, and 7 step drops when he
Yeah.
goes back, what
Yep.
types of angles he needs to take with a pass rusher and go with him because he having that experience at quarterback. I don't know if that plays into it or not, but
Yeah.
it
I mean,
just it's
maybe.
crazy for him to come out here and just. I mean, Broderick was getting better. I didn't have any qualms with Broderick's play when he
Yeah.
got hurt. I mean, he was improving and had improved considerably throughout the season. But I mean, Cook's come in and he's playing better football than Broderick was playing when he got hurt.
Yeah. Do you attribute that to the overall line play though? The other four have played so well. I
That's a
mean,
good point.
Sayamalu was down to start the year, and I think he's a Pro Bowl player this year. I mean, I there's an argument for me for almost every offensive lineman to be a Pro Bowl player.
That is something I hadn't thought about too. Back in the '90s, when Cower had those teams that were constantly pushing the AFC Championship every year, if we had an offensive lineman go down, we could plug a backup in, and it was like they didn't skip a beat. But
Yeah.
I wonder how much of it was the core of the entire unit, but had gelled so much and was so good working together. When they brought a backup in, it was just they just kept trucking, even if there may have been drop off there.
Yeah. Flowers to Pat Meyer. We've criticized him a lot,
Yeah,
but the team is it's coming together. So we like I said, all eyes are on on Green Bay, Baltimore tonight, and then we got Cleveland tomorrow. Um, it's meaningful December football, and this is where
yeah.
you want to be. That's why Rodgers came here. We're used to it as Steeler fans. We're just used to January failures, I guess.
Yeah,
But
really would like to see them run the table here.
Yeah,
Even if Green Bay wins tonight, just keep the momentum going. Don't
yeah.
don't don't let off the gas. I mean,
But
protect your
also
guys.
let
Be
us see
smart.
Will Howard. I want to see Will Howard. Give us Will Howard.
Everybody wants to see him. We'll see.
He'd probably come out and like realistically be like 11 for 28 with 122 yards and two
Yeah,
interceptions, but
I
like
wouldn't
20 rushing
expect it
yards.
would be too
He's a sixth
pretty.
round rookie. It,
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun. Last thing I couldn't find this stat, but I thought it's bounced around in my brain. I'm pretty sure the last Detroit quarterback to beat Pittsburgh was Charlie Batch. So I thought
yeah.
that was cool. Thought that was
The
cool.
infamous Thanksgiving Day game, which that last play of the game, I was watching that going, is something bad getting ready to happen to us
Yeah.
again because we played on Thanksgiving that year? The coin toss, man, that was
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah. Yeah. And Hayward said he messed up the coin toss this time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Tradition repeats
27
itself.
years later.
Yep. Tradition repeats itself. So, all right. Well, we are turning the page to week whatever we are. I still don't know how many weeks there are in the NFL season, and this time period between the 24th and the 31st, it's just a haze. It doesn't exist.
The time warp.
It's full of fun drinks, sugary foods, and lots of cheese for some reason. I don't know why cheese is always involved, but to those of
And
you that watch,
coffee.
thank you. And coffee in giant mugs. In giant mugs. Thank you all to everyone who watches, who supports, who comments. We do appreciate it. Hope you all had a lovely holiday season with your family. We'll see you next week.
Later.